Let me begin by doing something that we don't do enough, I think, and that is to say thank you to the 2 million civilians and 1.4 million men and women in the military in all of our 50 states, including some 5,000 in my own state of Vermont. So we have 2 million civilians who are working for the federal government and 1.4 million men and women in the military. We owe them a deep debt of gratitude. And the work that they do is enormously important for our country. They work to make sure that our drinking water and the air that we breathe is safe. It is not an accident that in many parts of this country, the air that people are breathing, that our kids are breathing, is a lot cleaner than it used to be. It took a lot of work to make that happen, and we thank them for that. We have customs people today patrolling our borders, and we thank them for their work. We have federal workers who protect the health and safety of working people all over the country. We have federal workers who are working today educating kids with special needs. We have federal employees who provide food to low-income pregnant women, infants, children, and senior citizens. We have federal employees today who are working in VA hospitals, and we have nurses there and many other staff doing a great job for our veterans. We have federal employees who make sure that children receive needed care and services so that their parents can go to work. They repair our roads and bridges, dams, culverts, sewers, and schools. They sweep the floors. They clean our bathrooms and make sure that the buildings we work in are not infested. Americans who work for the federal government are part of the backbone of this country, and I personally thank them for what they do. But it is no secret that in recent years there has been a huge assault against the federal workforce. For the past 3 years, the pay of federal workers has been frozen at a time when the cost that they are incurring in terms of gasoline, heating oil, prescription drugs, everything else has been going up, but their pay has been level. And now, as a thank you for all of the work that federal employees do here in Washington and Vermont, Massachusetts, all over this country, our thank you to them has been to shut down the government and to tell some 800,000 federal employees, these are single moms trying to raise kids, these are proud people, civilians in the military, people in our National Guards, these are people who are doing important work, who have families to raise, who are dedicated to their jobs, and we're saying, sorry, you have to go home. And they're going home, and they're not even sure whether they are going to be paid or when they are going to be paid. So you're looking at tens of thousands of lives that are being radically disrupted because of this shutdown. I can tell you, Madam President, that in Vermont we are very proud of the Vermont National Guard. Vermont National Guard men and women served very heavily and bravely in Iraq and Afghanistan. They helped us when we had this terrible Irene floods a few years ago. And the thank you that the Vermont National Guard is getting today, and this is true all over the country, is that in Vermont some 450 workers at the Vermont National Guard are going to be furloughed. And I know many of these people, they are good people, they are hardworking people, they just don't deserve this type of behavior from the federal government. And this affects people from all over the state, people who are trying to get homes, people who are trying to start businesses. And that's not something that should be happening.